And welcome to Manga Palate, the show where I, Pistis Luna, here with my co-host,
Manga Chef Isaiah.
watch and read and this is gonna talk about a thing. I picked the thing, and I'm excited. Hey. What's the thing?
Con Air.
Yeah. Con Air. Con Air is insane. You saw it.
It's insane.
You know it's insane. Hey, who's the lead actor? Fucking Nicolas Cage. This movie's gonna be bad shit. Here we go. All right. Yeah. All right. Con Air. Wow. All right. Oof. Starting from the top. Released June 2nd, 1997. Budget 75 million. Box office 224. More than double. Everybody loves
everyone's
Con Air. Everybody loves Con Air.
I feel like most of the money went to destroying the buildings, but yeah.
The planes in the buildings?
The planes,
the
buildings, everything.
There's multiple planes exploding in that junkyard. And cars. Lots of cars exploding. It was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, and Jerry Bruckheimer is known as the guy who sort of helped fucking Michael Bay begin his career. So it makes sense that there's a lot of explosions.
Did you tell Michael Bay directed... people love explosions?
According to Michael Bay, all of his stuff is based on advice his dad gave him, which is aim for Middle America. No one else is ever going to love you as much as Middle America. And I was like, cool. Actually, I have a lot of stories about that guy, but let's get into that at a later date. I want to talk about the director right now because this is some really dumb shit. All right. So it's directed by a guy named Simon West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here are some other movies he directed. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie.
All right.
The Expendables 2, also known as the movie where old action guys hang out. And Skyfire, which came out last year, which is a Chinese movie. So now he's making Chinese movies.
I guess he needs money? I don't know.
It's just what I mean, maybe it's the only place that'll take him anymore. Anyway,
I don't think those movies are bad, but I don't like
speaks of them highly.
Yeah. Oh, that's the problem.
So, that's not good. So, there was a time in the early 2000s where Chinese movies were the bomb. But hey, things change. Anyway, the screenplay, or the whole thing was written by Scott Rosenberg. Here's some other things Scott Rosenberg has written. Gone in 60 Seconds, which is another Nicolas Cage movie. The movie, he did the screenplay for High Fidelity, and now he's writing the TV show for High Fidelity because people decided there needs to be a TV show for that High Fidelity movie. He wrote Venom. Remember when Venom came out?
Yeah, I remember Venom.
I love that movie. That movie's fucking dumb, and that makes sense. He also wrote the Jumanji movies that came out in 2017 and 2019. So Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle is what I just learned it was called. I did not know that's what it was called. I thought it was just Jumanji. Apparently, it's Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle with The Rock. And he also wrote Jumanji from... Yeah, and Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart has the backpacks and he gets chased by the... All right.
I think Jack Black is in there.
Was in King Kong? I think he was in that one too, but I don't know. So anyway, Jumanji, The Next Level is the 2019 movie, which again, I did not know that's what it was called.
Yeah, me either. I just thought it was 1 and 2. But...
Yeah, I thought it would be Jumanji 2017 and then Jumanji 2 2019. But no, it's Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which is the fucking the Guns N' Roses song. And then Jumanji, the next level, which I don't know if that's even supposed to mean anything. Maybe because Jumanji's a board game, there's another level to the board game. I don't know. That doesn't make sense, but I don't know.
It's supposed to get the gamer market.
Is it?
The
Are the
next
gamers
level.
into Jumanji?
No.
I don't know if that's true.
Maybe
Yeah.
they like The
Okay.
Rock.
Lots of people like The Rock. Remember that movie he did about the skyscraper where he has a fake
Yes.
leg? That's a thing. People like The Rock. The Rock is in the Expendables movies.
I haven't seen those.
All right. There. It really just is old guys hanging out. But they pretend that they're still super sick, awesome action movie guys, even though they like almost died repeatedly while filming it.
That's
So that's a
funny.
thing.
That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
ironic.
it. It's like Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, Jason Statham, a bunch of dudes who are like in their 50s and 60s, and are just like, I could still do it. And then Sylvester Stallone broke a rib with Dolph Lundgren, and Dolph Lundgren's like, I don't want to accidentally kill you, and he's like, no, it's gonna look great in the movie though. Which is not the first time Dolph Lundgren kicked the shit out of Sylvester Stallone. It also happened in Rocky 4, where they told Dolph Lundgren, hit him for real, and then he bruised his rib.
That's
I was like, You know what? No, don't do that. Maybe don't do that, Dolph Lundgren."
they're still doing that. I thought there was all like those protective laws.
Ah, they're doing it. There are like a bunch of things that are like, hey, maybe that's why they're stunt people and stuff. But then like some people die, and it's a whole thing. But some people insist. Like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is like, those Mission Impossible movies. He insists on doing them himself. He refuses to have other people do it for him. Jackie Chan too. That's another guy who's like, no, I want to do it.
But
Fuck you,
they're
I
like
want to do
known
it.
for doing their real stunts.
Sylvester Stallone was like, no, let's do it for real, and then he like broke a few ribs, and it's like, maybe don't, old man who
Yeah.
is very, very much in danger of dying. Like if you were 20, fine. You are like in your 50s. This is dangerous. You've been working since the 70s. I'm concerned for your health. These are. It's like a bunch of old action stars go like, I got it, and then they get hurt and stuff.
Like I said, it's ironic. But yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Con Air. There's a lot of people. I'm only gonna list like five because I'm really interested in these five just because like seriously, you guys came here for this. Get like Nicolas Cage, I buy, right?
Mm.
Nicolas Cage likes making weird ass movies. He plays the main guy, Cameron Poe, and he has a wig and a southern accent the whole movie. Um, and he's a crazy person. If you've seen the things that he does, like he was in Vampire's Kiss, where he screamed the alphabet at a lady. He was in Raising Arizona. He was in Face Off, where he like shot through a child to try to kill the dad, but then he didn't, so he just killed the kid. He was in National Treasure, where he found the secrets of the founding fathers through like
Yeah.
mazes and underground pyramids.
The Masons or whatever.
He was in Ghost Rider.
Yeah, he was the Ghost
Learn.
Rider.
Yeah, he was Johnny Blaze, not the original Ghost Rider. There was a different guy who was called Ghost Rider, but it's a whole thing. Um, so yeah, and then also here's the thing I just learned. Do you remember that movie about the cavemen, the Croods?
No.
Remember that animated movie?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it was a thing, and the reason I know it is because my niece really likes watching the TV show of the Croods that's on Netflix.
Ah.
Nicolas Cage was the dad in the Croods.
How?
I was like, really? I didn't know he did like a kids animated movie. But then again, I think most people don't remember the Croods, like the Good Dinosaur. It's just a thing that happened. So yeah, then there's the fucking sheriff, the marshal guy, Vince Larkin, who's played by John Cusack. Um, John Cusack does a lot of fucking weird movies. Like he was in High Fidelity, the thing that the movie that the scriptwriter wrote. Um, he was also in Say Anything, which is a romantic comedy. He was in that horror movie 1408, and he was in the movie Being John Malkovich, which if you haven't seen it, it's fucking amazing. You should go see it. Speaking of John Malkovich, he's in this movie. Being John Malkovich is a weird meta movie, so this also happens to mention John Malkovich, the actor, who plays Cyrus the Virus Grissom. And yeah, I mean, John Malkovich is in a lot of good movies. He's in Burn After Reading. He was in Red, which is this other weird movie that's like The Expendables, but it's just Bruce Willis, John Malkovich, and fucking Helen Mirren who are like retired CIA agents. It's based on a comic book, but that movie is batshit insane. It was neat. And also, this is the thing that I will always remember about John Malkovich because it's my favorite version of it. Do you know the play Death of a Salesman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Arthur Miller play about the sad guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Sad guy.
Okay, and then that's how I think about it.
I mean,
All of the play is him remembering the good times he had and then going shit sucks. And then his son is like, I don't want to do what you do. And he goes like, no, you're going to be good because we're cool people. And then his son goes like, we're not though. We're just regular people. And he goes, shut up. Uh, so yeah, that's Willie Loman and his son Biff, and then also his other son that they call Happy, is Hap. So Biff Loman was played by John Malkovich in the 1985 TV version of Death of a Salesman, and it's fucking amazing. He did an amazing job. When it gets to that screaming argument that I was just joking about, where I was like, "Hey, we're cool." No, we're not. It's really good. It's a really good job. And obviously he's in the movie being John Malkovich, so because it's about him.
it's like a real
Uh,
life movie.
It's a okay. Do you want to know what it's about? It's really weird. I can give you the briefest explanation of it.
Okay.
So, like, so fucking John Cusack works in an office. He hates it. He finds a tiny door in one of the corners of his office when he's like moving shit around to make it feel better. And it's a tiny door that when he crawls through the tiny door, he goes into the brain of John Malkovich, the actor, and gets to watch John Malkovich, the actor, just live his day-to-day life.
All right. Next topic.
Yeah, that I mean, like, trust me, it gets way weirder the more you watch it because more things happen. But anyway, yeah. Speaking of really good actors that I like, Steve Buscemi's in this movie. I love Steve Buscemi. I love him so much. He's an amazing person, and he's done so many amazing movies. He plays Garland, the Marietta Mangler Green, the serial killer guy.
It doesn't really look that
Doesn't really.
crazy.
He seems like a really chill guy, and then he gets cured by Jesus. We'll talk about that. Um, I love Steve Buscemi. He was in The Death of Stalin as fucking Nikita Khrushchev. He was in Reservoir Dogs as Mr. Pink. He was in that movie Mystery Train, which I don't know if people remember that movie. But it's a really cool independent movie that, ironically enough, had a very famous Japanese actor in the opening bit because it's three different bits put together. Steve Buscemi's in the third bit, but in the first bit, Masatoshi Nagase is there, and he was in Chisatsu Circle and the Blue Hearts in 2017. It's like another anthology movie, and like, damn, fucking Steve Buscemi killed it in that movie, and he also was killed it in The Death of Stalin and Reservoir Dogs, and he was also in Fargo and like a bunch of those Coen brother movies. He was also on that fucking TV show Boardwalk Empire as the main guy, and that show lasted for like 6, 7 seasons. He's a really good actor. I love the guy. Also, he was a firefighter during 9/11.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
During the 9/11 thing when they were asking for volunteer firefighters, Steve Buscemi was a volunteer firefighter in the 90s. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm in. Tag me in, bro." And then he went to go help people during 9/11. Steve Buscemi, amazing person, amazing actor.
it's a lot of compliments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So then there's Nathan Diamond Dog Jones, who's played by Ving Rhames, which I forgot Ving Rhames was in this movie. Ving Rhames is probably best known as that guy on Pulp Fiction, the fucking crime kingpin who gets raped
Mm-hmm.
in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in Lilo and Stitch as the government guy, who is modeled directly after Ving Rhames. So when you look at the government guy and you look at Ving Rhames, you're like, oh, I see it. He was also in this weird horror movie called The People Under the Stairs, which I don't know if people have seen that, but if you haven't, it's fucking weird. And if you're into weird horror movies, please, by all means, check it out. And yeah, a bunch of other shit. So those are the ones I just wanted to mention, like Major League. Oh wait, I forgot. Danny Trejo's in this movie. I also, as much as I love Steve Buscemi, I equally love Danny Trejo. He plays Johnny 23. Yeah, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Serial Rapist.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Trejo has an amazing story as a person, and also he's told wild, fucking crazy shit. Because like Danny Trejo was in jail for this during the 70s, and then he got out of jail, and he started helping out the kids and doing like drug relief things and going to battered women shelters. And one day, when this kid was helping him get, this kid was asking for his help as a sponsor to get clean off cocaine, he went to a movie set, and then he found out that the guy who was writing that movie was the guy he was in jail with. And then the guy was like, "Yo, you want a part of this movie?" He's like, "Okay." And now Danny Trejo's a movie star.
He just said okay.
was like, all right, man. Well, the idea was like, you want to be an extra, and he was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, all right, cool. He figured he was gonna get paid 50, yeah. And then after that, it was like it was their movie. Was it Midnight Train? I think. I think that's the name of the movie. I'm not sure. Hold on. Live research. Cause fuck it. I mean, I got the time. Ah man. But yeah, he got asked to do the to help the kid. Oh, Mystery Train. That's it. Mystery Train. He got asked to help the. No, wait, that's the Jim Jarmusch movie I was thinking of. Fuck. It is Train something. Hold on. Runaway Train.
Alright.
Runaway Train from 1986. 1985. The main actor was Eric Roberts, and then the scriptwriter, who was his friend who he met in jail, Edward Bunker, was like, "Hey man, you want to teach Eric Roberts how to fight? Because I know you were a boxer back when we were in jail." And he's like, "Sure." How much does that pay? He's like 320 a day. And he's like, hell yeah. I was gonna take 50 bucks for being an extra. Sick. And then yeah, he just kept acting in movies and stuff. Spends all his time like helping kids and like he got like I said, he goes to battered women's shelters and just gives little kids like teddy bears. Cause he's like, this shit's rough and I know they don't always let you take your things. He's also apparently a beast at claw games because that's how he gets a lot of the teddy bears. They're like, he'll clean out a claw machine.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought
He
it was
also does
rigged. I guess not.
no, not apparently if you're good enough. I don't know, but yeah. So that's and also it turns out he learned this while he was filming Desperado with fucking Robert Rodriguez. They're cousins, and he didn't know that. Yeah, he made Desperado with Robert Rodriguez, and Robert Rodriguez was like, "Hey, who's They were just talking, and then he found out they were second cousins, and they were like, "Oh shit, oh that's wild." I really like Danny Trejo because Danny Trejo is the kind of guy who not only does great things for people in general, but also he will take any job. Like he doesn't fucking care. He's worked in 400 things. He has 400 acting credits to this day because there's never a job that Danny Trejo feels he's too good for.
Huh.
Like student films, like people who are still going to film school have gone up to Danny Trejo and go like, "You wanna?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." That is a man of the people, if nothing else. Also, if you've never seen the stupid Robert Rodriguez movie called Machete, where like Danny Trejo plays a weird like salt of the earth hero guy, there's a scene that makes me laugh every time I think about it, which is like he cuts open a guy. It's kind of like Ricky-O. Remember when that guy strangles somebody with his own organs?
Mhm.
Open a guy, and then he grabs his small intestine and jumps out of a window and uses the small intestine as a rappel to kick open another window, so he doesn't have to go downstairs.
Okay.
It's a it's a crazy movie. Also, that character is the uncle in the Spy Kids movie, so like that's a thing. Because Robert Rodriguez made both of those movies. He's like, that's the canon. That's like when Machete's not with the kids. This is what he does. All right, sick. Has been in a lot of things. God, there's no one who says, "Hey, you wanna work," and he goes, "No, never." He gets offered so many things because people know that he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
He's
Good
good at
day.
it too.
Good. Yeah, he's great, dude. When he does the stupid like monster laugh as he like grabs the lady, I was like, that is very threatening. Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about him anyway, I learned about something interesting. So he made this movie back in like 2014 called Badass, which was like loosely adapted on that veteran who had beat up a guy on the bus. Remember that? Remember that fucking stupid viral
Uh,
video?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they made a movie based on like Death Wish, but with the guy being an actual hero, sort of. And then Danny Trejo played that guy. So like, he was doing an interview with some people. He was doing an interview with How Did This Get Made? So it was Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, and June Diane Raphael. And they were like just asking him questions. They're like, "Hey man, you were on Con Air. What was that like?" And he was like, "It was the most testosterone in a room ever. It was horrible. It was a real weird trip. You like spit, and then you'd watch another man go and spit a little bit farther, and then by the end of the day, everyone would be spitting repeatedly, trying to get the furthest. It was it was a trip." And they're like, "Wow, okay."
Wait,
And
was
then he
that
was
to
like,
do?
"Hey."
They were just
No, because it's just the thing that they did. They were like, "Yeah, I'm look at how cool I am. I could spit further than you because I'm a man." Like that's how kind of weird it was.
Okay.
everybody was doing it, and then it was like, okay, yeah, and then it'd be like just anything you did, people wanted to outdo you for some bizarre reason. Just a bunch of men stuck in the desert going like, fuck, what do I do? Ah, I need to assert my dominance. Like, it was weird. And then Danny Trejo was also like, hey, by the way, you know what? I tell people a lot of this, tell people this story a bunch. People don't believe me. But check this out. You know John Cusack, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like, you know how there's like, I've been to jail. I've like, I know what it's like. And I know that some people are really fucking nuts, right? And there's some guys who like to pretend that they're tough, but they're not that tough. But then there's other guys, you look in their eyes and you see something is off about them. And it's kind of scary. And they're like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, John Cusack is one of those guys. And they're like, everyone's like, what? It's like, yeah, man, don't trust John Cusack. There's just something in his eyes that's like, I don't know about you. And then it's like, it is coming from a guy who survived time in jail. So there's probably a bit of truth to his fear of John Cusack, or I guess distrust of John Cusack. And
I
then I
don't
was
think he
like,
did
anyone else?
anything though.
I don't know. It's just like, like he's like, you ever hear that story about how Alec Baldwin smashed his Game Boy in the bathroom because they were like, turn it off, and he was like, no, and they were like, turn it off, and he just smashed it in the bathroom because he was like, fuck you, you want to tell me what to do? It's like, yeah, he'll do that, but I feel like John Cusack would have beaten up the waitress, the stewardess, and it's like, hmm. And it's like, yeah, two other people who are like that, George Clooney and Matthew McConaughey. I was like, really? I was like, yep. I look in their eyes and I'm like, there's something about you, man, that's just like not there. That's not there in regular people. I don't like that. So yeah, fun fact about Danny Trejo. He says, be wary around John Cusack, Matthew McConaughey, and George Clooney.
Okay.
Those are just things he says. All right, man. Let's talk about what the movie actually is. I've just been giving so much shit about these actors because I like them.
Okay. Con Air is about what's Nicolas Cage's name? Oh, Poe.
Cameron Poe.
Cameron Poe.
Yeah.
Uh, getting sent to jail because he defended his life.
Okay.
Which is really weird in the beginning.
I was gonna say, let's talk about that because so he's an army ranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's straight up what they say. It's like, yeah, you're a ranger. Then the fucking judge says your hands are legally a deadly weapon, and that's not a real thing. What is that? What do you?
You got trained in the army, so now you know techniques. Like...
Yeah, but that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember hearing people say stupid cheesy shit like, "Oh, his hands are registered weapons" and shit like that. But that's not real. So the movie's like, hey, you're an army ranger. You know things other people don't know. You shouldn't have like fucking murdered those guys. And I was like, they circled me in a fucking rainy, miserable night, and they were gonna stab me to death.
Because they wanted
And I
his
was like,
life.
he was like, no, and then he was like, also no, and they're like, well, murder is the correct answer then, I guess.
I mean, obviously not, but.
That makes me think of the guy from Pet Shop of Horrors. It was like, you want to marry me? No, I'm gonna kill every member of your family. That's it. That's it. I've decided now.
Wait, which one was that?
That was the reason that like Count D's like comes from an ancient race of fucking Chinese
you mean like
magic
in
people.
the manga?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. They're like, yeah. It's explaining where he comes from, and then they were like, oh yeah, way back there was many of us, but then this one guy wanted to marry one, and then she was like, no, and then he killed all of us, so now we hate humans. And it's like, whatever, fuck it, who cares? Didn't even matter in the end. It's like, oh, you don't want to go flirt with me, nice pregnant lady? All right, cool. Time to murder you and your husband. Cool. Yeah, and then
I don't get it.
And then Cameron Poe goes to jail because he stopped them and then he died.
Thing.
Yeah.
Is there really nothing a lawyer could say besides, oh, you can maybe get 7 to 10 years?
I still love the judge going, you are a living weapon.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, what? That's not a thing. Shut up. You're a judge. You should know this is not a thing. Shut up. And it's like, now he's going to jail now.
Yeah, no reason to go to jail.
And because, all right, so since his wife is pregnant, like the baby's born and the baby's never seen him, and is a little daughter now. So yeah, he's getting released, and then it's like, oh man, Maybe I could get out there. Okay, you know what? Talk about him getting released. So he had his friend, right? The guy with diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Needs insulin.
Right. Yeah, he needs his insulin the whole movie. My insulin. But anyway, yeah, the thing about his friendship with the guy is I just realized I thought about something when I was watching the movie. Every time that he got snowballs, he gave them to the diabetic who could die of insulin shock.
Oh yeah.
So he gave him giant balls of shredded coconut and marshmallow every single time,
Okay.
knowing he has a issue with diabetes.
Well, did he get diagnosed with
So
diabetes
question.
before or during jail?
So because they mention it like as a thing, as like, oh, you know, I gotta take my insulin.
Well, I'm not
Unless you're
sure.
positing that he gave him diabetes
Yeah,
by giving him, oh,
that's what
that
I
would be
think.
way worse. That's way worse. I thought he just had diabetes and was like, yeah, fuck it, you want the candy, have it, which is still not good.
I don't think he would take it if he had diabetes. So
And I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's even worse that he gave him diabetes through giving him all those snowballs. The host of snowballs, by the way. You get to see it flat out. Like, yeah, host of snowballs. Go get him.
but yeah, so he gets out.
He's getting out.
He's,
They're gonna take him on a plane ride, cause that's the way.
I still don't get it, but yeah, he has to complain with the people who are going to another prison.
Yeah, they're going to Carson City because they're in Nevada.
Hmm.
So it's like we're gonna fly you to Carson City, and then some people will get off and other people get on, and then we're gonna go again to another one, and then that'll be the end of that.
But it all goes south.
Because John Malkovich is an evil genius or whatever.
Yeah. So
All right, I have the thing to say about John Malkovich, and I want to talk to you about the math on this because this sounds really weird. Okay, so they give everybody their introduction, right? And well, they
um
give like a bunch of guys their introduction, and this is John Malkovich's introduction when he's getting on the plane. This one's done it all: kidnapping, robbery, murder, extortion. His name is Cyrus Grissom, aka Cyrus the Virus. 39 years old, and he spent 25 of those in our institutions. But he's bettered himself inside, earned 2 degrees, including his Juris Doctorate, which is a law degree. And he also killed 11 of his fellow inmates in 3 riots and escaped twice. Likes to brag that he's killed more men than cancer. Okay, so he's 39, right?
mhm.
Okay, and he spent 25 of those in prison, right?
Yep, that's
Okay, so that means he was
14.
14.
Yep.
Okay, so he was 14 and got convicted of kidnapping, robbery, murder, and extortion, at least to some degree, right?
Mhm.
And then escaping twice, presumably he got out, evaded the law for a while, then continued to commit crimes and then got caught again. So he went to jail at 14 for murder, robbery, kidnapping, and extortion? Is that understand?
Uh I guess at 14.
14, because that's what it says, right? 39, 25 in jail.
Maybe he kidnapped some kid
So
in middle
14.
school. I don't know.
And then murdered them? And
Yeah.
also asked, okay, all right, wait. Kidnapping, robbery,
It could be one
murder,
person.
extortion. Okay. It could be he was extorting somebody, and when they didn't pay up, he kidnapped someone else and then killed them.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't cover the robbery. Fuck. There's
Well,
something
he
in there.
robbed
There's
them.
something in there
Maybe he
that's
robbed their dead
no,
body.
extortion's a different thing. I don't know if I feel like that murder supersedes that. I don't think that they would tack that on. But yeah, that's the thing they said. Is
Maybe he
he's
robbed their parents'
39 years
house.
old and he's 25 in jail. So it's like he did all this at 14, presumably. Then he broke out, committed more crimes, and went back in and killed like 11 people while in jail. So like that's the thing. And yeah, Danny Trejo's guy is a serial rapist. Ving Rhames is a domestic terrorist. That's
Um,
that's
who
it.
was he again?
Diamond Dog.
Oh, Diamond. Oh,
Yeah. They said he wrote a book in jail called Reflections in a Diamond Eye. And the New York Times called it a wake up call for the black community. And then fucking John Cusack like snidely goes, they're talking to Denzel for the movie. And I was like, shut the fuck up, John Cusack. Shut up. But yeah, that's so like Ving Rhames is a domestic terrorist. That's a thing. Dave Chappelle's in this movie, and we haven't mentioned that at all.
Oh yeah, he's the pit bull or something.
Pinball.
Pinball.
Yeah, he's the sells drugs and stuff. But it murder. I think it was arson. It's like arson and drug trafficking, and he lit that
It's
guy
weird
on
to
fire.
name criminals like their playoffs candidates, like for a draft or something.
Yeah, everybody
Sounds
loves
weird.
Cyrus the Virus and Johnny 23. I guess there's some people who end up with like nicknames, right? But like not a lot. Not enough for them to be a plane full of them at the same time. Because like Al Capone, people call him Scarface.
Hmm.
That's a thing. But like that, it's not like he was hanging out with Billy the Kid because Billy the Kid had been dead for like 80 years. I have a plane full of these guys. Also, there's that one person who I don't know why they were arrested. I remember I saw in the credits they referred to them as Sally Can't Dance.
Oh, the
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
trans
guy.
girl.
Are they? I don't know. I don't
They
know
kept
at
calling
all.
her a girl, so I
I
don't know.
guess, but could that also have just been like effeminate person, so girl?
No,
It
no,
was
no.
the 90s.
She
That
had
was a
like no
thing.
lines.
Anything. And then Cameron Post slaps him. Like, and he goes, "No, open hand." Bam. You just hear like as they fall to the ground.
During the intense gunfight.
Okay, yeah. All right. Look.
Oh,
Wait.
we should explain
No.
more
I
about
don't
the
wanna,
issue.
I don't want to keep jumping around, but yeah. So basically, the inmates take over the prison plane,
Yeah,
Chappelle,
Dave Chappelle did
and
it. Yeah.
yeah, Dave Chappelle did it.
He
Use
he
pinball.
like gagged something out of his mouth like a magician, but it was like
So
a
it was like a condom tied with a string with lighter fluid and a match inside of it, and he like just pulled it so that he could like light the guy next to him on fire.
pretty sure it's not possible, right?
People have vomited up stuff like that before or put things up their ass. But my thing is about that. I don't know if he could actually do that. People have done things like that before. Like they'll swallow condoms of cocaine. That's how they'll move cocaine around in people.
Yeah, but not like
I don't know if
that.
you could do yeah, I don't know if you could do the magician bit, but hey, I don't know. Who knows? That could be more real, and the more ridiculous thing could be Danny Trejo going, "Yeah, they would call me Johnny 600 if they knew."
Uh, that
Or
got dark.
Steve Buscemi getting cured by Jesus. Again, many things we have to get to.
I think we're just gonna
Um,
talk about the whole movie, but yeah.
Probably,
Lights the
but
guy
it's
on
so batshit
fire.
insane. It's so batshit
He
insane.
lights the guy
I
on
can't. Yeah,
fire
he
as
lights
a
the guy next to him
distraction.
on fire as a Oh, did you hear what he said when they picked him up and they were like moving Dave Chappelle before he started doing the prison break shit?
What?
He's like, "Oh shit, he spontaneously combusted. I know for sure. He just burst into flames. I saw that shit on Discovery Channel."
Yeah, that was dumb.
Did did Dave Chappelle decide to say that on his own, or did someone write that in paper and say, "Yeah, Dave Chappelle say this"? I don't know,
It sounds like
because
Dave
some of
Chappelle.
it feels like Dave Chappelle made it up.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about switching the people on the when they got to Carson City, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, Cyrus, but we're three white guys short, or as they say in Ebonics, we be fucked." And then it just cuts to angry domestic terrorist Ving Rhames. That, but I
Like
don't.
he just knows.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're a bad example for the black community, drug dealer. Versus I, the domestic terrorist, am a great example for the black community. That's what the New York Times said about my book.
Uh,
And the
he's just too extreme.
ignoring,
Okay.
yeah.
This movie's
Well, okay,
insane. Like every
yeah.
segment.
I mean, yeah. Everybody's kind of nuts,
Oh wait, before we get to the flame part, the acting in the beginning was kind of bad.
but
It sounded like they were reading off a script.
it is. It very much is fucking stupid John Cusack going like, haha, witty repartee as he reads off the stupid bullshit about them. Little
Uh,
snarky line at the end is like, "Oh, they're talking to Denzel for the movie." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, John Cusack." That's such a stupid line. That's such a stupid line. So many of the lines in this movie are fucking stupid. Like, what was it when like Dan Trejo's about to rape the prison guard, and then Cameron Poe stops her. And like Dan Trejo gets up and goes like, "You know what I am?" And then fucking Nicolas Cage goes, "Ugly all day." Like, shut up, movie. Shut up. And then they're gonna land the plane, and then the guy Billy Bedlam, the guy gets murdered later in the movie. Goes like, "Carson City, the law's down there. You lost your mind." And John Malkovich goes like, "According to my last SAC evaluation, yes."
Yes.
It's like, shut the fuck up, movie. Stop it. You stop it
These
right
lines are
now. But
awful.
this is so bad. But Dave Chappelle gets the pilot and he goes like, "Sup, man? So you Swamp Thing? That's right. You fly in the plane? That's right. It's amazing the shit you white trash know. That's right." And he fucking like gives a thumbs up. And fuck this movie. I love it. It's so bad. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Now that I know this is the guy who wrote Venom, I'm like, that makes sense. Because I saw that movie. That makes so much sense. Makes so much more sense now. The Venom movie makes so much more sense, and it makes me kind of want to wonder if I should watch Jumanji. Because if he writes like this, no
Yeah, it's
matter
just as
what,
bad.
maybe The Rock is ridiculous in that movie.
Cause it's not.
Not to,
It's not supposed to be like The Rock playing The Rock. It's supposed to be like a girl playing The Rock.
what?
Cause
I
they
don't.
switch bodies when they go into Jumanji
It's a
World.
what? Oh, what the fuck? I don't. Now I need to see that. Now I need to see that. That sounds like a bad version of
No wait,
the
Jack
body
Black's the
switching
girl,
thing.
and like The
Wait, Jack.
Rock is supposed
Okay,
to be The Rock is supposed to be
the
like a
Kevin
little kid.
Hart. Oh, it's a little kid who's the
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah.
I should see that movie then. That sounds batshit
So
insane.
it's like a coming of age story for little kids too.
The little kid, yeah, but he's experiencing life vicariously through the Rock. So like, I wonder how it must feel to go from little kid to someone the size of the Rock.
uh,
That's probably a whole thing. Did they do that in the movie? Did they talk about that? With the kid going like, "Wow, I look amazing" or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool, sick. That's what I thought. Yeah, and then they take over the plane, and then the whole plan is, we're gonna take the plane to Colombia because they find the letter in John Malkovich's cell that's like legal documents from Colombia, and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna get extradited, so they can't legally take us out of Colombia when we get there. Yeah, we're gonna go pick up a big drug kingpin, and he's gonna get us the second plane to go to Colombia. But then they betray him, and it's like a whole thing. Also,
Uh,
do you remember the thing that the guy says when he dies?
which guy?
The drug kingpin guy, Serrano, whatever the fuck his name was.
Help me. Right.
Yeah,
I
it
need to
was
spell her
like,
name.
no, come on, sigh, and then John Malkovich cuts him off and goes, Anara.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
That's so bad.
Because he's gonna say
Like, no,
Cyrus, so he's
come on.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
sigh.
So instead, he cuts him off. He goes like, sayonara, bah, explosion, bah, fire. Everyone, yeah, he's dead.
Uh,
Oh fuck.
this movie is
Oh god,
a
this movie.
combination of cheesy and ratchet insane.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I also love when they pick up fucking Steve Buscemi and they have him in like the super metal bracelets and like his legs are chained up. They give him like a
For
Hannibal
no
Lecter
reason.
breathing mask.
He looked like Bane.
Yeah, I get thought of Hannibal Lecter because the mask had the little dots for breathing, just like Hannibal Lecter when they drag him out in the whole bodysuit and even did the like fucking wheezy thing.
Bane does that too.
Yeah. Ah man, what a great time. And then yeah, they're pulling him out, and they're like, "Whoa, what's that?" And it's like, "That's Garland Green." And then like John Malkovich goes, "This got interesting." And then they fucking take him into the plane,
He
and then
doesn't
like
do
Channing
anything.
Trejo's like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, no, he's just hanging out. He gets cured by Jesus. I want to get to that eventually because that's totally what happens. But yeah, and then like fucking Danny Trejo takes him into the plane, and then like Cameron Poe, like Nicolas Cage, and then Baby O are looking at him, and they go like, "Huh, what's that?" And then Danny Trejo goes like, "Shit, that's Garland Green, man." And then fucking Nicolas Cage goes, "The Marietta Mangler." And Baby O just like drops this info dump that is so clearly scripted because no human being ever talks like this. That skinny little man butchered 37 people up and down the eastern seaboard. They say the way he killed those people made the Manson family look like the Partridge family. And then fucking Nick Cage goes like, "Well, He's on the right flight. I'm like, that's so not how people talk. Usually people just stay quiet if they're next to the crazy serial murderer.
You're like, oh, crazy serial
And
murderer.
then,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
try to make eye contact.
lad, let's not even look at him. And instead, he has a full-on conversation with him when they get him out of the thing. What was it? Ving Rhames goes like, "What do we do with him?" And then fucking Cyrus goes like, "Hey, let's just take him out." And he goes, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Hey, I admire your work."
And he just
And he
nods.
doesn't say anything. Yeah,
No,
he just
I
like,
think he like blinks his eyes.
yeah, that's what I mean. He can't talk in the thing he's in, so he's just like, mm-hmm. And then he like gets him out, and then he just sits down very calmly next to Nicolas Cage. He said, right? Like when he's doing that stupid what does it mean to be crazy speech, right?
Oh, what'd you say in the beginning?
I said that's the thing he says when he's doing his stupid this is what it means to be
Oh, because
crazy
he was working in the
speech.
office. He's like, that's going insane.
Yeah. All right. I got it written down verbatim because I'm like, what the fuck? So then like it's after Poe kills Bedly Bedlam, right? Because they were fighting, and he was like, put the bunny back in the box.
That's the worst line.
Yeah, that's the worst pre-fight line I've ever heard in my life, but I like it because he goes, "I'm gonna say it again, put the bunny back in the box," and he goes like, "Ah!" And they like fight.
And the
And
bunny comes symbolic. I was like, alright, I hate this movie.
yeah, Cyrus grabs it later. He goes like, "Nobody move," the bunny gets it. And at the end, it's like he really does give it to his daughter, but that's the whole thing.
She
So
doesn't like it.
anyway, the fucking Steve Buscemi's like sitting next to him, and he goes like, two people went down, one came back up," and he's like, "Shut up, I didn't mean to." And he goes like, "Most murders are crimes of necessity rather than desire, but the great ones, Dahmer, Gacy, Bundy, they did it because it excited them." And then fucking Nicolas Cage goes, "I got nothing in common with them. You don't you talk to me? They were insane." And then, then Steve Buscemi goes, "Now you're talking semantics. What if I told you insane was working 50 hours in an office every week for 50 years? But at the end of it, they tell you to piss off. Ending up in some retirement village, hoping to die before suffering the indignity of trying to make it to the toilet on time. Wouldn't you call that insane?"
Oh my god.
Like, what? Shut up. Shut up. And then Nicolas Cage is like, "Murder with 30 people. Semantics are not. It's insane." And then Steve Buscemi says the thing that I wanted to talk about the most because I don't know what this means. He goes, Steve Buscemi like chuckles and he goes like, "One girl I drove through 3 states wearing her head as a hat." What does that mean?
You mean like
Like,
in terms of
you
English?
decapitated her and like tied her head on top?
Oh yeah, in terms of
Did
English.
you like skin her as a mask?
I
But
thought it
that's
was
not
like
a
skinner as
hat.
a like a
But that's not a hat. Did he cut her head open and then tie it to his head like a party hat? What does that mean? What does that mean, monster serial killer Garland Green? What does that mean? Did he
do you
tie it
mean
to the
like
top
did
of
he
his head?
didn't
Like
kill
I
her
don't.
and then he like
Well, like presumably he killed
he
her
just rode her and
and
then
then he
he
tied her head.
yeah. What was it during the
And
car
but like,
ride?
when, how, what does it mean to wear it as a hat? That's what I mean. Was it the whole head? Did he cut the head open and then like wear it like a burlap hat?
He said he cut his face.
Like, what
Her
does that
face though,
mean?
right?
No, he said I wore her head as a hat. That's what he said, and I don't understand what that means.
Maybe like scalpel there.
And I don't think I ever will. That's what I mean. Did he scalp her? But that's not her head, is it? Is your scalp your head? I don't know. He just said one girl I drove through 3 states wearing her head as a hat, and then like Nicolas Cage is disgusted.
That's a dangling modifier. You need to fix that up grammatically.
What's that sentence mean? Clearly define what you mean when you say hat. I don't understand. Crazy serial murderer that is cured by a little girl singing a song about God.
You want to just talk about it now since you're on him?
I mean, sure, fine. So they take a break after because they land in a fucking junkyard for like planes, and they're waiting for the plane from the big time Colombian drug kingpin to come in, and Steve Buscemi just walks away. Nobody bothered to check on him. Also, Sally Can't Dance runs into a place and just finds a dress as if they already knew the dress was
I
there.
thought it was from
Now,
her personal belongings.
it was at a junkyard. They've never been to the junkyard, have they?
No, I meant the personal belongings on the train. I mean
No,
the
no, no.
airplane.
No, that's the thing. They wouldn't bring their clothes like that because it was like he went to a random place, took a suitcase, and then opened it up.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay, then that's even
Yeah,
more
that
crazy.
I don't get what that's about because like, did you know the clothes were there? Did you know that dress was good? Because they were like going through the clothes, going like, no, 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 and then they saw the dress and were like, perfect. I was like, how did you know there was going to be clothing there, or the briefcase to begin with? Did you plan this? Did someone else plan this? I don't know. But you got lumped because when they went onto the plane after in Carson City, they were like, "Oh yeah, we took over the plane." Like they were surprised.
Hmm.
The clothes.
There's no way.
There's no way. But they just sprinted towards the clothes, and then Steve Buscemi walked off in a completely different direction, and then they've been in a trailer park.
I don't know how they just know. Like
I don't know.
they just knew something was there that they needed to go
And they were
to.
like, "No, I need that dress. It's such a styling summer dress. It's hot as fuck out here. I need a summer dress. If I'm gonna wear a dress, it needs to be a summer dress."
Eh.
But yeah. Anyway, Steve Buscemi walks off into the distance and runs into
Were
like a
they?
trailer park.
I figured it's from '97, right? I guess they're trying to make fun of her.
Yeah. The joke.
It
I
wasn't.
don't. It
I don't
doesn't
think
seem
it'll
like
be
a joke
funny.
to me.
Hmm?
It seems like a weird thing.
Seems
It
like a
doesn't seem
weird.
like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a. It doesn't seem like a joke. It just seems like a weird thing that happened. Like, oh, they just knew there was a dress there. Okay,
I feel like they were trying to make a trans joke, but it wasn't a joke.
it's a joke to me. Yeah, it just felt like a statement. But anyway, um, so yeah. Steve Buscemi goes and sees a little girl sitting in a pool that's like empty and filled with scum and stuff,
All right, how's that?
and she's like, a,
Is she just poor, I guess, and just hangs out?
yeah. I
Or
think
okay.
that's it. I think it's like her family doesn't give a shit and they're all broke and miserable or whatever. But yeah, so she's like sitting there and playing with dolls on like a table that I guess she dragged into this empty pool. He sits down in front of her, and you're like, is he going to murder this little
Yeah, that's
girl?
what I was thinking the whole
Yeah,
time.
the first thought is like, oh, is he gonna kill this little girl? But instead, like the little girl's like, hi, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm just the guy. And he's like, all right, fine. And then this is the thing that I wrote down is the exchange where she goes like, are you sick? And he goes, why do you ask? Like he looks like kind of surprised, like, oh. And he goes, "Why do you ask?" And she goes, "You look sick." And then he goes, "I am sick." And she goes, "Do you take medicine?" And he goes, "There is no medicine for what I have." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, hold on a second. Are you talking about me mentally ill? Is that what we're doing?"
And he
And then
just
she
said
goes, "Like,
before
want
he
to
wasn't
sing?"
insane, right?
I'm not crazy. What does it mean to be crazy? Fuck you. And now he's like, "No, I am totally crazy. I totally have a problem that no one can cure." Um, And yeah, she goes like, "Want to sing?" And he goes, "Sing." And he's like, "Do you know he's got the whole world in his hands?" Which is a song about God, right?
Hmm.
Like it's a song about God and how God has everything, and then he like is always there to provide for us and yada yada. And he goes, "Yes, I do." And they start singing, and like the camera distorts, and I don't know what that means, but I think that's the moment Steve Buscemi is cured of his insanity by talking about God to a little girl.
Okay.
I think that's what happened. I think that's what the movie wants you to believe happened. Because later there's another thing where they mention God's name and then Cameron Poe becomes immortal and just runs through people.
I want to show you what God looks
I
like.
think, yeah. Oh man, Baby Yo gets shot and then he's like dying and he's like, what? I'm dying. There's only
I
one thing
need
I can
my
think of.
insulin. No.
Yeah. There's so many. I need my insulin, and then after he gets it, no, the insulin's talking for him. Don't worry about it. And Sarah shoots him anyway. Yeah. No, the thing
After he
is,
says it's not possible, but whatever.
yeah, because like you were on the border of dying this whole time. You're on the brink of death this whole time, and now you're telling me you were the snitch. And he's like, yeah, real smart, real clever, huh, bitch? And then he gets shot. I guess just because he made him angry. Whatever. The guy seems ready to murder at any moment. So who cares? He's been in jail since he was 14. So really, who knows? Who knows what limitations he has?
Oh man. All right.
But yeah. So then, like, Baby O's on the ground dying. Which, by the way, that's the same guy who played Bubba in Forrest Gump. So this is the second time he dies in the arms of a really slow guy from a southern country. from a southern state. Happened in Forrest Gump.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I didn't see that.
he's it's a really crazy movie because Forrest Gump just goes through all of history and makes things happen. And it's like, how did Elvis learn to dance? Oh, Forrest Gump taught him how to dance, even though he stole it from black musicians. And it's like, how did John Lennon become such a peacenik? And it's like Forrest Gump talked to him about being through Vietnam, and it was rough, and all this kind of shit. It's it's a really wild movie where Robert Zemeckis just pretends history didn't happen. Anyway,
Okay.
diverging from that, um, yeah, Baby O dies, and then as he's dying, fucking Cameron Poe goes over, and then Baby O goes like, you know what? Now that I'm dying, there's only one thing I can think of. There is no God. It's not real. None of it. And then Cameron Poe goes, I'll show you. Where he goes, where are you going? He goes, to show you that God really does exist.
And then he walks over to Sally.
Just walks in a
slaps
straight
her.
line. Well, he walks in a straight line and then like beats up one guy, and then the other guy shoots at him, but only hits him in the arm, and he doesn't stop moving. He just
Yeah,
keeps
like
walking.
you just do
And
it. Knew it was gonna happen. Okay.
yeah, he's like the Terminator. He's not even affected. He's like, so I got shot. So what? I'm an Army Ranger. I am a living weapon. And then he beats up that guy. And that's when Sally like jumps on him and goes like, no. And then he like goes for a punch, and then it's like, and then
Slap.
open palm, slap. And as they fall to the ground. And he gets to the front of the plane. But yeah, that's so I believe the movie posits that God is real and he's super magic. Cause singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" cured fucking Garland Green of his mental disorder that made him want to kill people.
So maybe this is actually a Christian symbolic movie.
Maybe it's a Christian movie. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
So wait,
Was it
who's
actually
Jesus?
about Jesus the whole time?
Is Nicolas Cage?
Oh,
Jesus?
okay. If it's a it's a Christian analogy. I don't know if it could be that as much as it could be a redemption story through Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
By believing in Jesus, they become the heroes. Because remember, there's only two people who make it out of there, really. Cameron Poe and Garland Green, and they're both people who are open their hearts to Christ.
they had
So
faith. So they
yeah,
had faith in Jesus.
yeah. So maybe the movie is
Wait, what
about
about
redemption
the
through Christ.
diabetic guy?
I,
No, went
he
to the
was a
hospital.
martyr. Did he?
Yeah, he made it through the ambulance.
I don't remember that. Oh, okay.
And
I
they
just
both-
remember
Nicolas Cage
the.
really, like,
I
a
just
thumbs
remember.
up. Yeah.
I just remember Cyrus riding the fire truck, and then the movie going like, "No, it's not over."
And then yeah, he tries to stab.
Yeah, he dies in a literal pile driver. An actual pile driver kills John Malkovich in this movie.
That was crazy.
It just
It's like
crashes
a
his
Final
head.
Destination thing. I was like,
Yeah, yeah. He just falls into it, and I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, really?"
Oh, you remember
Oh,
they were
really?
debating whether if they should throw missiles at the plane? And
Yeah,
they kept saying,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's my plane.
John Cusack is like, "That is my plane. You don't touch that plane. No, God damn it!" To the fucking the other guy. What was he? DEA? No, I don't
Yeah,
remember
he was
what
DEA.
fucking.
He was DEA.
He was DEA. Yeah,
Because they were
of
like,
course
how
it
does
was
the
the
DEA
DEA.
get involved in this? As soon as the
Yeah.
DA died
Yeah.
on board.
And also he was like, "We better finish this up before the FBI. I don't want those fucks getting the glory or something."
But
Oh man, that's yeah. And like John Cusack goes like, "Fly in the way," and then the
Yeah,
pilot's
and-
like, "Oh shit," as he flies in front of the missile, because that way the DEA agent won't shoot.
But then they land in Las Vegas. They crash in Las Vegas and kill
Crash
more
in
people.
Vegas and kill a bunch of people on the way and in the plane, because that's how Johnny 23 died.
Yeah, he got his arm ripped off. Oh,
Yeah.
remember when they said when they were looking at the body? You're like, this
Mm.
one's definitely dead. And then they just
This
take
one's definitely
his,
gonna.
they take his
Tattoo
body
arm.
off and he has his arm off.
Yeah, his tattoo arm is just gone.
Oh yeah, he also said that really cheesy liner is like, I'm gonna become giant number 24 now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh fuck. Okay, all right. So that's back when they're talking about Danny Trejo's thing, and it's like, Cyrus goes like, "Oh, are you a famous?" He says he speaks in Spanish too. He goes like, "Are you a famous criminal?" He goes like, "Yeah, call me Johnny 23. He was like, Johnny 23, I know you. He goes like, yeah. And then like he lifts up his arm and he shows 23 heart tattoos. And he goes like, yeah, there's a
Roses.
space on my arm for each one of my bitches. I was like, you mean rape victims? Cool. Sick. Love it. And then he goes like, all right, yeah, wow. And then like he goes like, I normally hate rapists. They're like, what is it? There's something between scum and also that white stuff that's at the corner of your mouth when you wake up,
Yeah.
which is such a specific thing to pick. But cool, whatever. And he goes like, oh, but I'll make an exception for you. And it shows Danny Trejo go like, as he like nods appraisingly, like, all right, Cyrus the Virus thinks I'm cool. The fucking yeah. Anyway, that's what Danny Trejo goes like. Yeah, they call me Johnny 600 if they knew. That's the thing that I said before.
Oh my
But
god.
and then like what was it? John Malkovich goes like, nah, it doesn't have the same ring to it. I'm like, fuck you, movie, fuck you, and all these stupid like witty lines by like monster serial murderers and horrible people. And then yeah, he's gonna rape the guard at one point, and like he goes like, oh, I got another space on my arm just for you. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, they're gonna call me Johnny 24 once I'm done. I think he said something like, I'm gonna use all of your holes to make myself feel good. And that's when Cameron Poe grabs him and goes like, no, not now. Not doing this. And then Cyrus goes, yeah, and then he goes like, you know what I am? And then fucking Nicolas Cage goes, ugly all day.
What did
God
Cyrus
damn.
say when he was about to
Yeah, yeah,
to
he's
the
like,
guard the first time? He's like, if your dick
um,
jumps out of your pants, you're
do
gonna
you
be the
know how
one
to
jumping
fly?
out.
It was, do you know how to
Oh yeah.
fly? And he was like, no. And I was like, all right, because if I see your dick jump out of them pants, you're jumping out this plane and learning.
Uh, goddamn.
I
That
mean,
one wasn't so bad. That one wasn't.
it's not as bad as what you know what I am ugly all day, but that's still pretty good. That's getting there. That's getting there. To like Carson City, the law's down there. You lost your mind, according to my last SAC evaluation. Yes.
Yes.
Like fuck you, movie. Oh
Call me
man.
Johnny 600. They knew.
And then John Malkovich just goes, it doesn't have the same ring to it. Which, by the way, that would make him sound like a robot.
Yeah, it would.
Wouldn't it? Johnny 600 sounds like the T100, the Terminator. Oh yeah. All right. Still to go back to the thing about God being the answer.
Was the
Um,
bunny
so you,
supposed to represent faith?
I think it was his purity to his daughter, right?
Yeah, but
Wouldn't it?
that could
Yeah,
be
the
like
purity of
that's
an
her sin.
innocent child
Like
during the journey because of the shit that happens, like when he actually kills a guy on purpose.
and she has to like suffer through that.
Ah, yeah. I
But
was also going to say there's the part where John Malkovich is going to shoot him and goes like, "Oh, before I kill you, I want you to know that the last thing your daughter, little Casey Poe, is gonna smell before I kill her is my stinking breath." And then the plane propeller flies through the plane
mhm.
and stops John Malkovich, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. See, it was God the whole time."
He was like,
He
"No, you
made
can't touch it."
in in what he thought was his dying moments. Baby O could believe that God was real and there, because it just saved the pure man Cameron Poe through random circumstance.
This movie was more biblical than I thought.
Maybe it was always about redemption through Christ. The only people who get out are the good guys. You know, Garland Green gets cured by singing a song about God, and then he's playing fucking what was it?
Looked like slots
What was he playing? Sits down and he goes like,
when you
put me
roll the
on for
dice
this.
on the number.
Oh, okay, cool. Craps. Yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna put some money down on whatever. And he has and they find the little doll that he left on the plane. And you're like, what's this doing on a plane of hard asses? And it's like, oh, he took the doll from the little girl. Yeah, and the plane was crashing. When the plane was crashing, he's just singing. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck it, I'm fine. I believe in God. God will protect me. And then he did. Oh man, aren't you glad I picked this movie?
Yes.
This movie's
This is too
bad.
much.
This movie's
We didn't even talk about the whole movie because we'll be here.
it'll take like 3 hours. I
Yeah.
feel like we've done a good amount. I
Like
I
we
will
skipped
never
Dave
shut up about.
Chappelle and like he hit on the girl too long. But
Oh, I was gonna say we forgot about that time Dave Chappelle's corpse gets thrown into the floor
oh yeah, because
and
he saw him.
he froze to death.
Yeah. He was
Oh
running to
fuck.
the plane. He was like, "No, wait up, no."
Yeah, because he's flirting with the girl. You're right. Yeah. Oh man. Also, he sees that guy that he lit on fire in the window. Like, let me in. Hey, Cochise. And the guy's like, whatever.
I thought that was Johnny 23.
That he lit on fire, which is some other guy, because he had the bandages from the burns
You're probably right.
on fire. It's like, let me in. And the guy was like, no.
And not like he could do anything anyway.
Yeah, no, the plane was already going. Yeah, but then like when fucking Dave Chappelle's body lands on the ground, and goes like, "Whoa, this is an accident." And he goes like, "It's not like he's an astronaut." I'm like, "You're finding a dead body. People don't talk like that. Regular people don't.
No.
People who've seen death, like a coroner doesn't care. But like a guy who just watched a corpse fly out of the sky would not react like, yeah, not an astronaut. Like that's not the movie keeps doing that 80 times. It's crazy. I love it. I love it so much. Ah, fuck.
Sorry about your car.
Yeah,
Missing the keys. I didn't really like it anyway.
yeah. There's only two men that I trust. One is me, the other is not you. And then at the end, he tells John Cusack, "Hey, you know what? There's three people I trust now." And John Cusack goes, "Is one of them me?" Ha ha.
I figured it out.
Fucking
See, I'm
the
smart
fucking.
too.
Fuck. Oh man. Get over the Steve Buscemi speech about what does crazy mean, and then when he meets the little girl, he's like, "Yeah, I'm crazy."
I could buy that because he is crazy.
Uh, what was it? I think he said something about Billy Bedlam that like he's a fountain of misplaced rage or some
Oh
shit.
yeah, he has like a
And
whole symbolic room because he was like,
it's
I
a whole.
grew up. He probably grew up not loving his mother or not being hugged by his mother enough. He gave him
Oh,
like
no,
two
wait.
options.
Yeah, it was like name your cliche. Mother held him too much, not enough. Last picked at kickball. Late night sneaky uncle, which is like molestation. Like whatever. Now he's so angry that moments of levity cause him pain, give him headaches. Happiness for that gentleman hurts.
uh, that was,
Fucking God, I love you, Steve
he became a
Buscemi.
therapist.
Up in this movie, Steve Buscemi. I love your horrible
It
lines.
wouldn't be the same without him.
Couldn't be the same if anyone else said it. There's a level of smug confidence that Steve Buscemi gives to the character. Like, haha, I know things. I'm a crazy person. What does it mean to be crazy? Did you think about that?
That's like the only lines he has too.
Yeah, he doesn't say much. He doesn't say much. He talks to the little girl. He says the stupid speeches, and then that's it.
And he also nods. And
Oh yeah, he goes like, mm-hmm.
he has to wear the vein
Because
costume.
he's in the giant set with the fucking magnet with the magnet
Still
manacles
don't
and
get
shit.
why he needs that, but alright.
I guess they were that scared.
They might just
Remember,
murder someone.
Isaiah, he wore a woman's head as a hat. Sure, we don't know what that means, but it can't be good.
I mean that's fair, but
Can't be
other
good.
people killed people in that plane too. They just had handcuffs on him.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There was some kind of great fear about the Marietta Mangler. And
Also, what was it about?
I mean,
Oh
take
man,
your pick, man. Take your pick, really.
he was like, I talked to her when he was in the Nicolas Cage is in the desert, like when they just landed,
Oh yeah,
and he
yeah,
found
yeah.
the other guy. He was
He
like,
finds John Cusack.
yeah,
And they have the guns pointed at each other.
he was like, don't shoot. How come I can't shoot you? I talked to your wife. Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? Tell her she's my hummingbird. If you
Yeah.
see her again, tell her she's my hummingbird, my angel. And when Nicolas Cage felt he had to do a southern accent for this movie. The wig
Uh,
I kind of understand. The accent I do not. It's exactly like fucking Daniel Craig doing it in Knives Out, where I'm like, what made you decide on this?
I,
This is the thing I'm doing.
I think it works for the character. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just some random guy. He's an army ranger. Does that have to mean he's southern? I don't know. It's just a thing that happens.
I feel like we're forgetting the character.
I mean, there's a lot of people. You could talk more about Ving Rhames wanting to kill those policemen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Um, when they were pulling the airplane, right? They had a bunch of
Yeah.
ropes. For some
Oh
reason,
fuck!
he
I
just
forgot.
decides to
I
whip
forgot
them.
that everybody pulled an airplane like that was okay.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Oh, it weighs like tons. It
Hmm.
weighs metric tons.
Where'd they get the rope from? I don't know.
From they're in a junkyard. There's no rope, but whatever. Also, when he runs into the when Cameron Poe runs into the guy under the truck, the guy who was hiding,
Hmm.
and he goes like, "Hey, I need a needle," and then the guy goes like, "Oh man, drugs will destroy your life, son." And he's like, "Where's the first aid kit?" He's like, "Friend is gonna die. I shut up. I'm not here for this." Oh man.
I think he said he's gonna pee
Yeah, but
his
that's after
pants
they
too.
kill. That's after they kill the betraying guy, right? The drug cartel guy, and he's like, "Plan B,
Yeah,
dig the plane out."
yeah. And like, come on, I want this plane out before they come. They
Yeah,
pulled the plane in
yeah.
less than 10 minutes.
Blew up, planted explosive barrels. So they did explosive barrels to protect themselves, and dug a plane out and pulled it in under 10 minutes. I think Johnny was like, "Oh, I think we got 15, maybe less," and he's like, "We'll be fine." And this movie's nuts.
But it was also whiffing them. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
It's like,
Uh,
take that, all their first years.
How does it feel? I'm in charge. Haha. Uh,
Also, that guy just ran and no one said
goddamn.
anything to get to the other plane, the one that
No,
betrayed them.
no, no one cared.
You're like, oh, he's
Well, that's
dead.
why they shot him immediately. They were like, "Oh, this is too. It's over." Sigh, Anara. It was over. It was over. Goddamn. It's so crazy. Such a batshit insane movie. I love it.
Can you pull over to the Las Vegas Strip? No. And then they're just like, oh.
Crash to the strip. It was. Can you land at the airport? That there's a vacancy, and he's like, "Nah, we're not gonna make it that far," and they just crash into the strip. Amazing. Amazing. Also, there's that guy who was refueling the plane at Carson City that they just took off when he flew into the distance. I wonder if that guy died.
Wait, what guy? Flynn doesn't.
They got on Garland Green and the other guys, right? When they got to Carson City in the sandstorm.
Hmm.
And then, like, one of them, that was when John Cusack and the other guy figured out that, oh shit, they're not actually, the people took over the plane.
Hmm.
There was a guy refueling the plane. And it shows him falling and flying off when they start taking off before they're
Uh,
ready.
oh, yeah.
I wonder if that guy died because he's in the middle of a sandstorm and he gets blown away by a jet engine.
Probably died.
That guy's probably dead. Oh man, what a weird. And then there's the fucking fire truck chase where there's like on the motorcycles, and then Ving Rhames is shooting at them from the back of the fire truck.
He gets the holes, and then.
Yeah, and it's like this movie has a lot going on. It has a lot of things happening, but nothing actually going on, unless we read it as we fully interpreted it is actually redemption through Christ.
So, what was the water supposed to represent?
Water.
Are you sure it
In,
wasn't more than that?
oh, I mean, what do you mean when you say the water? You mean
The
the pile
water from
driver?
the. Yeah, from the fire truck.
Hmm.
So, I'm guessing
Okay, let's see.
Osiris virus
Let's
is
see.
like Satan, right?
Oh, yeah, he's a virus. He's cancerous. He
Yeah.
might be evil itself because it infects human souls. What's about that for a rating?
Hmm. Oh, I guess he did take over the plane and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's supposed to be like the wrong
Yeah,
path, since like blew them off.
that's what I mean. He's evil. He's temptation itself.
Yeah, because he like blew them off their motorcycles, and that's like a road.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's supposed to be the right road, but then he blew them off the road.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe there's a lot more we're not seeing.
I don't know, man. I'm not the scriptwriter of Venom.
Is Venom a Jesus movie?
No, but it is also a redemption story. Now that we're talking about it,
I remember like the Ultra Venom, like has to fight the little Venom, right?
sort of,
Because he
sort of.
realized he
You're
was
not
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's like the symbiotes came to take over the in the movie of Venom. It's different because it's based on the fucking Lethal Protector storyline from the comic books, which is Venom leaves New York and tells Spider-Man, "Yo, be cool," and Spider-Man's like, "You be cool," and he goes, "All right," and then he pieces out to
Okay.
California, and then a guy who like his daughter was killed by Venom goes like, "I have to kill him now," and he builds like robots to go kill Venom, and it's a whole thing. And then like other symbiotes were cloned from the original symbiote, and then he uses those to make mercenaries to try to kill Venom. And then because they go nuts, Spider-Man goes like, "Venom, I thought you were cool," and then he went to California, and they team up together to beat all the other symbiotes and the guy who's trying to kill Venom, and that's it. Oh, I guess. And in the movie, it's like the symbiotes crash to Earth, like the way the original Venom does, right?
Mhm.
But the symbiotes are actually planning to take over the Earth.
Oh yeah.
I who's like a super rich mogul, like technology mogul guy, who's like, I want to use the
Yeah, that's the
symbiotes
Ultra
to
guy.
unlock real power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the other seven symbiotes that in the comic book was like cloned from the original. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but yeah. So then, like, yeah, it's like Riot is fighting Venom because his
Mhm.
name is Riot. He's the big scary symbiote. So like, it is sort of a redemption story, I guess, because Venom's a bad guy, but then he becomes good guy. But in the movie, Eddie Brock was a hero from the beginning, so I don't know. It's weird. Which is also funny because Eddie Brock's entire thing is he's a dick. He becomes a good guy by the time Lethal Protector happens.
Okay, so the movie's weird.
That's a sort of a redemption story, sort of not. I don't know. Because I guess in the Venom movie, it's like, oh, he was a really big time cool guy, and then something happened, and yeah, everybody nobody respects him anymore. They fired him from his job because he was too real. And I was like,
Nah,
cool.
maybe it's supposed to be
And
like
that
staying on the path. Like how it's gonna be hard to keep being a believer.
maybe, yeah, maybe it's the reward belongs to the faithful, and you better not. You just don't have to give up. I don't know. The thing is, stuff is always written with themes in mind, but you can never guess what the themes are. You can only kind of go like, "This is what I think it is." You have no proof to anything. But then there's the death of the author, which is like, "Fuck it, doesn't matter. Whatever you got from is what you got from it." So I guess if we're reading these to be stories of redemption through Christ, then that's what it means to us, I guess.
Yeah.
Food time.
Yeah, I think it's not your food.
Food time. Okay, fine. How do we describe a redemption through Christ? Uh, as a food. Communion wafers.
Alright, those are
Say that as a joke, but like actually.
I'm trying to
Um,
analyze those as food.
okay, so the movie's action
They're
heavy,
crunchy. They're kind of
right?
cheap.
Yeah, it's cheesy. Should
Um,
it be Cheetos? No, not Cheetos.
no, I was thinking of the commune wafers.
Oh, you want to attach? You actually want to go for it? Okay, fine, fine. Crunchy, inexpensive. The thing is, I feel this movie is not bland because
No,
communion
there's
wafers
too
do not
much.
have taste.
There's too
There's
much.
too much shit going on in this movie for it to be bland.
Maybe something spicy.
Okay, I have a question. What do you think spicy should translate to, like for future
Like
reference?
action heavy.
Like action is spicy
Wait, didn't we say it was like
because the
sexy or no?
no, I get sweet is romantic, so spicy could be sexy if that's the way you want to go with that. But I guess I'm just asking, what should we define action as in terms of food?
Did we do
The
an action
action,
thing? I don't
not
think we ever did an
really,
action thing.
not really. No, there's been like fighting in the things we've talked about, but it's not been. Because remember, Dog Days lied to us about it fighting mattering.
Yeah.
Whole different situation.
So maybe it should be
I
spicy.
You think spicy? I
Because
think
we never had
spicy's
anything that was this explicitly sexy.
yeah. I well again, the argument was had about Okusama ga Seito Kaicho about
What do we say that was?
mildly pornographic. It was a marble loaf cake because it was
Because
sweet.
it's sweet, right? Yeah. We never think that was this especially
Yeah.
like no sweet.
Maybe action is spice because it's like it gives you a lot of attention and it's on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fine. 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 Something spicy. It's not
Cheap.
particularly heavy, but it's cheap and there's a lot.
It could be something cheesy and spicy.
Hmm. What about Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
That works.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos,
Hmm.
cheap, inexpensive. It didn't cost that much as far as movies are concerned, and it made a lot more than it cost.
Yeah, that seems right.
All right, Con Air is Flamin' Hot Cheetos. We did it.
All right, that was a lot quicker than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, but once you narrow it down, we're much better at doing it.
All right, it's time for news.
Yeah, everybody shut the fuck up.
Um,
What have you got?
so the FGC has been doing these direct relief campaigns where they're trying to raise money for the Con Ed victims, COVID victims,
Yeah,
and they raised about
that's nice.
$3,000. That's pretty cool.
Wow, that's yeah. They'll actually do something. Cool.
And so there was the
Uh,
Skullgirls one, and
yeah.
the winner's supposed to get like $100 or whatever, plus the well, it's supposed to be like $100. Yeah,
Okay,
and the guy decided, oh, I'm just gonna give it back. That was like really cool.
that is cool.
He made all his winnings to go to the
Huh?
direct relief.
A relief fund. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. You know, it's crazy. Since it's only been building and building as things have happened.
Mhm.
Especially in New York.
Mhm.
My aunt caught it, and she's an older lady, and everybody's just kind of waiting to find out what's what that's about. You know,
Oh shit.
I had a friend's uncle die recently because of this. You know, because of the COVID. Corona's fine. You know, it's killed like 400 people or so, right?
Mhm. I
They're
think
only
it's a
expecting
bit
it.
more.
Yeah, they're only expecting it to climb. It's fucking nuts, man.
U.S.
Fucking
is like the
nuts.
worst at handling it.
Yeah, especially a condensed city like New York. Oh boy. Uh, well, yeah. Hopefully things get better, but sometimes things have to get worse before they get better, right? So we'll see. That's
And
still
people are
nice
like,
that
it
they
can't
did
get
something.
worse. And I'm like, it
Yeah,
can.
yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. But you know, it's nice to hear that people are trying to do things for to help.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of like tournaments and stuff just trying to raise money.
That's cool.
So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that's an announcement, but also really significant to me just because of how specific this is. Um, so there's this guy, right? Everybody, people know him. He's a Ryoichi Ikegami. He's a mangaka. He's really famous for writing Crying Freeman. And he's written some other shit.
Mhm.
Um, he decided that he's going to make a three-part, three-chapter like mini series thing, which is I think very strange as far as manga is concerned. Because TV does that a lot, right? They'll do like spin-offs and miniseries and all kinds of shit. And if you
Mhm.
do spin-off in manga, it's usually like a whole thing, and they'll have someone else work on it. But he's like, nope, this is gonna be three chapters. That's it. Nothing else. And every chapter is going to be for the issues of this magazine, and it's gonna be a conclusion of a manga that I had written before that I moved away from since I started doing something else now. I thought that was like kind of weird because the idea of a mini series with regards to manga is I think relatively new
Yeah, that's weird.
thing, but that's episodes, right? They'll take like a chapter and expand it into an episode. Or TV shows do mini series all the time where they're like, "Oh, this show's going to have 9 episodes and that's it. And you can watch it. Each one's going to be an hour long or whatever." But to hear explicitly planned, "Hey, manga miniseries," I think really a strange way to take the medium. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's a thing. Newest thing, just a thing I wanted to mention. Remember that manga I told you about the witch who lives on her own, right?
Mhm.
Oh, it's ending in 3 chapters.
That was quick.
Yeah. So maybe we could do that eventually. Also, Gyaru Gohan ended, so we could probably do that at some point too.
All right,
All
we
right,
got
time to get hype.
options. Good height. Oh shit.
I'm hype. I'm hype. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. What do you have about?
Have you heard of the RPG game, World of Horror.
I've heard of it, haven't played it. It looks really crazy.
I also didn't play
I'm
it.
interested.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, I also didn't play it, but it looks really fucking
Yeah, it looks
crazy.
really interesting. There's like random cases and different people that give you bonuses and all this other shit going on. And stylized really interestingly. I like the way it looks.
You play just like RPG. That's turn-based battle. You gotta like use the right items on the people to solve the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like a crazy old PC game. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot.
It kind of reminds me of wow, what's that thing? Not HP Loco, Junji Ito. Yeah.
Ah, that's true. It does look like Junji Ito kind of stuff. God, I love that man's work. Gyo. Gyo is a surprisingly strange thing about the fish with the legs. Uzumaki, so much good shit. By the way, did you happen to watch the Junji Ito collection anime thing that they were doing?
Yeah,
It's good.
it's good.
The manga, which says a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and let me down like Kengan Asura.
CGI.
Makes me sad every time I think about it.
I didn't know Beastars is that popular.
Yeah, it's blowing up. Which I'm happy for because the story's really good. But the thing about the manga is the manga went in so many different directions since then
Oh, so the
that
anime's
like
different.
the show covers like one of the first arcs, which is just like Lugosi dealing everybody dealing with the death of Tem. But like by the time the manga's gotten to, it's like, oh, they've already introduced the former Beastar. They've talked about like interspecies breeding. They've talked about like being born as like a person who's going to be eaten for meat. Like it's a whole so much shit has happened to like advance the world. It's that since where the show cuts off. Yeah, it's good show though. Great show because it does cover an aspect of the manga. And if you're into it, then getting into the manga and seeing all the other shit that's going on too, like adds so much more to it. Feel like Beastars had the benefit of the CGI because the CGI actually works well with its art style, as opposed because it's not supposed to look like humans, like realistic proportions. So it actually works for the way it looks.
Yeah, because it looks like not too real
Yeah,
compared to King Rajal. He's
it's
super realistic.
supposed to be, and then that CGI makes it look weird with all the different shading that they have going on. It's so weird. It's so weird and creepy. I hate it. I hate it so much.
But
Alright,
yeah, I'm
cool.
trying to play World of Horror. Looks
That's
weird.
cool.
It also looks
That sounds.
scary, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I know you're not a big horror guy. He is. Like, yeah, I'm tapping out.
I mean, I'll
But
just watch while he lit.
play it right with his girlfriend, fiance. They're engaged. I forgot.
Well, did they
They're
get
engaged.
married? No.
Married yet? I think they're still just engaged.
Also, the game's
'Cause I
not
remember
fully
they got.
finished, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta admit, for where it is right now, it's already impressive. So it can only get better when it's done. Not like you can step down, really.
Unless they just like get a bunch of cheesy writers. Yeah.
Yeah. Each of the cases are so individualist. Like every time you experience one, you never really fucking know what you're gonna get. Like, yeah, it's a spooky thing, but in terms of like what you're actually getting, who fucking knows? I think that's really cool about it because they're randomly generated. So sometimes you'll get one at the beginning that's nothing like the one you got last time. You'll end up with that one third or whatever. It's cool. It's really cool. All right, cool. My turn to talk about a thing. Um, surprise, surprise! It's manga.
Whoa. I
Yeah,
didn't see that coming.
but it's not a harem thing.
Is it a deaf game?
No, but that's a good guess. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good guess. Um, it's a manga about a family. Because if there's another thing I like, it's single dad. I don't know why single dad story always gets to me.
Okay.
So it's called Ohayo Toka Oyasumi Toka, right? It's
Mhm.
like good morning and good night. And it's so this is a guy. His name is Wahe, and he's like almost 30, and he lives alone, and he's just kind of like working on his job, and he doesn't really like his he doesn't really feel much for his parents, right? His mom left, and his dad's like never around. And then one day, three girls show up, and they're like, "Hey, so we're your sisters." And he's like, "What?" Like, "Yeah. So we're just here to live with you because Dad told us to come live with you." He's like, And at first, he doesn't really know how to adjust to having kids around.
Mm.
Well, he warms up to them, and he realizes that his childhood of being lonely without his parents around, and now opening his heart to these people, he goes, maybe this is what I've always really wanted, is family, people to come home to and enjoy my time. And they're all kids, so they're just learning how to enjoy themselves, because they're also separated from their parents, right? Like the mom told them to leave one day, and the other guy, and while his dad like took them in, and it's a whole thing. So it's mostly just them learning to bond as family and opening up to each other after feeling that they've been abandoned by everyone else. And it's really good. I really like it. It's really sweet, really nice. It's just a family thing. There's really nothing else for me to say. Most of it's in the experience itself.
Ah, so it's like
So
a
I like
nice
how
story.
three yeah. So I like how 3D Kanojo is I'm going out with a girl. Like there's really nothing for me to say.
Ah, okay. So it's like the one of those heartwarming stories. Like, ah, that
Yeah,
feels nice.
yeah, it's great. I love it. She just made her like the older sister, just made her first friend, and it's just like, oh wow, you like have a friend now. That's so nice that you can like really talk to and all this other shit. And it's cool. It's cool. I really like it. So yeah, Ohayo toka oyasumi toka. That's what it's called. That's it,
Okay.
huh?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, that's it for Manga Palette. You guys still here? You guys get it?
Yeah, you guys get it.
Yeah, you get it. Bye.